Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. In this series we're checking in on how some of the older MMOs that we all played and loved when we were younger are doing, with today the in 2004 released Fantasy Life MMORPG Mabinogi. It has been 6 long years since I last touched this game, so this is going to be a bit of a nostalgia trip for me as well. We're upgrading our character and there's actually plenty of faces, hairstyles and whatnot to choose from, so after making the perfect character who looks as if he is mildly annoyed by everything, we're kicking off our adventure in the world of Mabinogi. Wait a minute. Special chosen one spacey starter area where you meet a goddess with breasts so big she's most likely to have some back issues. Lost Ark? Is that you? Anyway, we're finally off to the first training area. This sheep and the girl NPC over here are explaining how everything works, so let's see what they have to say. I ram what I am. Alright, well, it was a good one, thank you so much for watching. Mabinogi surely changed a lot since the last time I played. There are talents you can choose from now to enhance your combat. Back in my day, there was none of this good stuff. Some professions offer combos and other cool stuff, and in the end I got hooked by this chain whip-like talent. Rebirthing is still a thing in Mabinogi as well. Your character has an age, you age up and you can rebirth to grow your character even more. So after doing that for a tutorial, we're off again to continue the questline and learn more about the story. Mabinogi is an old game. The UI is old, the graphics are old, and there are so many quests to do nowadays that you lose all sense of what's important, and it's super easy to just completely lose all sense of direction. But this weakness is also one of Mabinogi's greatest strengths. You're completely free to start your own fantasy life as you see fit. The only requirement for playing Mabinogi is that you're sort of a Tetris god, because the way this inventory management works, oh man. The way skill leveling works in Mabinogi is you gain EXP by completing actions for every skill. So when you hit a monster with a chain, you'll gain EXP for your chain skill. Most skills are available from the get-go, but you'll need to discover how to actually unlock them first. For example, unequipping your weapon and double-clicking hands, you can start harvesting eggs and you gain the egg harvesting skill. This skill then feeds into your cooking and you can keep growing your character freely that way. The same goes for combat, like I mentioned, every time you attack you gain EXP, but grinding isn't really a thing though, at least not in the same place as there are EXP penalties for camping in certain areas. So after you defeat a few monsters in the same area, your EXP will be greatly reduced. By the way, if you are enjoying today's video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Also let me know which game you would like to see next. I was thinking about doing Fiesta Online if that's still around, but let me know which games you would like to see. In Mabinogi, players progress through generations of stories, which usually involves running a ton of dungeons and fighting boss monsters while learning about the lore of the world. There even are plenty of books players can read to learn more about the lore of this game. I still remember fighting Glass, which is one of the coolest looking bosses I ever encountered in any MMO. Fighting that thing in the Mabinogi prequel Vindictus was also a blast. Mabinogi combat is not your average combat either. Using a rock, paper, scissors system, it slows the combat down, but it also makes it more about using the right skill at the right time, similar to games like RuneScape. There is a big sense of freedom when playing Mabinogi. Want to compose music instead of grinding dungeons? Just buy an instrument and a piece of paper and compose your own music. It seems like this game really understands the concept of a fantasy life, and I think it's one of the reasons why this game is still alive to this day. Now, Mabinogi isn't boasting amazing playing numbers, at least not in the West. The all-time peak concurrent players on Steam never reached above 1.1k, even though I suspect most players use the Nexo launcher. In its 18 years lifetime, over 20 million users registered for Mabinogi around the world, and it has generated over $600 million in lifetime revenue, which isn't that much compared to, for example, games like Dungeon Fighter, which has over 850 million registered lifetime users and has generated over $18 billion in its lifetime, so that's a bit more. The game was commercially never a massive success, but it did grab the hearts of some very dedicated players who are still playing it and enjoying it to this day. Interestingly enough though, the game did not gain that much traction either while the world was in lockdown like some other MMOs did. Mabinogi is still getting plenty of updates though, with new content and changes. For some reason I always come back to the official Mabinogi YouTube channel to check for updates. Not sure why though. The most recent update was on the 28th of April, and that one was focused on life skills with new recipes and improvements being made to that system. Also, interesting note for all Dutch viewers, Mabinogi implemented similar Dutch trade restrictions due to the local gambling laws, like Dutch players cannot trade, they cannot drop stuff like that. However, these restrictions were lifted with this update, so fingers crossed that the trade restrictions might be lifted in Nexon's other games as well, that would be pretty dope. After reaching more busy areas, there does seem to be a steady amount of players still hanging around, selling stuff and AFKing. However, the community is a lot smaller compared to most other MMOs though, but I don't think that's that much of an issue, even though Mabinogi is definitely a game you have to enjoy together, I feel like. Looking a bit into the future, there still is plenty of content coming to Mabinogi from the Korean region, and Mabinogi is still planned to make the jump to mobile in Korea. Hopefully that game will actually be released this year. After some digging, I actually found some actual footage of someone playing a prototype and not just a game trailer. The mechanics and movement do look interesting with the dragging. I wonder how it will actually work and if it's nice to play as, but the graphics do look good compared to the PC version at least. Mabinogi is one of the grandmothers of MMORPGs that, despite all its shortcomings, old systems, messy story and lack of general direction, it does deserve to be treated with respect and care. It's a far from perfect game, but it did lay out the foundation of the many other games that were to come after it. With its unique combat, day and night cycles, the way you discover skills and the freedom that the game offers, there isn't really much else like Mabinogi. It's a game you can spend hours in, getting lost in its world and its systems. It's also a game that's supposed to be played with friends, so that's why I can't really play it that much. I also want to share some other opinions on the game through Steam reviews, and I think I only need to show this one to give you a better picture of the game. Rissa, who has over 3,000 hours in this game, recommends it and says, "I hate this game." Do you play Mabinogi yourself, and what do you think of the game? Let me know in the comments. And that was all for today. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, many thanks to our YouTube members for making these videos possible. Thanks to Niels the Coninck, Raar, maar waar, Sebastian, Hanoy, Ryalias, Terry Kim, Vareese, Mora, Wiley, Historycanon, BackSpaceOTI, Saffronyx, Anwar NHI, Ziggy Deer, Flidiet, Knifesu, Chen125, Cloudfix, Gusus Rodriguez, Froggy, Vira, Trevor, Michael Machaka, Ratius, Justin Vale, Silvio Nato, Stevie Zhang, Afterlord_MS, ceemak, Striker Elk, Tidal1 Pun, Victor Sundstrom, Radical Jaws, Riser RU, Gummy Bullet, Lovebird, Sir Tito 655, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Anark, Galando Balavia, my name is Coppersan and I'm super cute XOXO, PC Game Life, Dante Victory, Stanislaus Xumo Vegas, Level 243, Paladin Reboot, The Passenger, Martin Panzik, I'm Disappointed, Lucky Beats, Gabriel Pedro Benetti, Cana Cristales and Aced Light. Thank you all so much for watching, stay safe and happy gaming!